Hello everyone, it's Dragonfire Today we are playing a Domain Zoo with some new cards. Okay, so we have Dragonfire Blade card from TARKIR, which is kind of a copies of Scion Of Draco 5 and 6 when you have Leyline of the Guildpact on the field. Okay, so when you have Leyline of the Guildpact on the field, you can equip this for 0 mana. So that is the combo. You equip this for 0 mana on any of your creatures and it gets +2/+2 and hexproof from monocolored. So it gets a similar thing which Scion does, it gets you hexproof. So it's a very powerful with the strong creatures from the zoo. Scion, it doesn't give hexproof to your entire field, but one creature gets hexproof and that can be pretty strong. Okay, so when you start with Leyline of the Guildpact, you don't have to always have the Scion anymore. You can have the Dragonfire Blade, which serves as another copy of the Scion, does something similar. Okay, so when you start with Leyline of the Guildpact and Ragavan and you have Dragonfire Blade in your hand, you can play it turn 2, equip it on Ragavan and attack with 4/3 Ragavan hexproof from monocolored. These kind of things can end the games on the spot. So in this version, because we have new equipment, I'm playing Stoneforge Mystic. So in the classic version I had with Doorkeeper Thrall, problem is in that version I only have like 16 creatures, and if I play Doorkeeper Thrall I have 18. So I have a total of 18 creatures, and sometimes you have Dragonfire Blade and you don't have a creature to equip it on. So that was a big problem. So after some gameplay I figured that Dragonfire Blade is a good card for Zoo, but only works if you have a creature to equip it on. So if you're playing a build with like 16 creatures, it won't work. So it won't be a good card. So what I could recommend is playing either my classic build from my channel with Doorkeeper Zoo, like either keeping 2 Thralls. I think 18 creature is definitely borderline. I would maybe recommend going to 4 Doorkeepers or replace Doorkeepers with Violent Cuttles or Nishoba Brawlers, whatever you like more. And Emperor of the Bones, Bowmasters, whatever you like, but have like at least 20 creatures to use couple of Dragonfire Blades on. Or if you don't do it like this, I think deck will have trouble playing a Dragonfire Blade. You will miss creatures to equip it on. It will be a constant problem. Of course, you also can't always count Phlage as a creature which is easy to equip the Dragonfire Blade, because Phlage goes in the yard and it's not a reliable source, so there's even less creatures. There's just like Ragavan, Kavu and Scion. That is pretty low, so you can't expect for Dragonfire Blade to work if you don't play creatures with your equipments. Okay, so there's it. Very simple. Also initially in this version I had one Cory blade cutter, what is it called, and it was pretty decent. It was not as crazy good as it was in Murktide or Prowess, but it did some tokens, let you have additional threats. It was sometimes you could grow tokens, make multiple of them, but of course not as crazy as in Prowess. But in this build I had like a single Cory, and I could tutor it with Stoneforge in a situation when you can reliably double spell for a couple of turns. So you can go like turn 2 Stoneforge, grab Cory, turn 3 play Cory, play Ragavan, trigger Cory, turn 3 go like Stoneforge, find Dragonfire Blade, play Dragonfire Blade, trigger Cory again. There are some good things with Cory in this build with Stoneforge, but ultimately I did not have any graveyard hate in the 75, so I decided to add one Lion Sash, so I have answer for the opponent's Phlage in those situations. Also, Winternight Stories. I saw lately I saw some players trying out like Stock Up or like Shadow Prophecy in Zoo. I feel like Winternight Stories is like 10 times better card for Zoo decks. So what does it do? So you draw 3 and you discard a creature card or 2 cards. So it is in most situations you will want to discard a Phlage or like extra copy of Ragavan. So when that happens, Winternight Stories is absolutely insane. But also, like a Zoo plays cards that sometimes you don't have use for them in hand. That can be Leyline of the Guildpact, that can be Lightning Bolt, that can be extra Ragavan, or just abundant lands, stuff like that. So in most situations you will often have stuff you don't mind discarding, like extra Leylines, extra Ragavans, lands, extra lands, whatever. But when you discard Phlage, it's absolutely insane. And what is the more insane in this deck is the Harmonize ability. Harmonize ability is an ability kind of almost made for Zoo, but the cards that the other harmonized cards are not as strong as the Winternight Stories. So I wanted to try this, but in version like this one that is little slower than the usual version. So I don't have Tribal Flames. I'm not going all in from the beginning. I'm a little more in on playing the longer game, the mid-range game. I think this is a good strategy for Zoo decks. It can grind. It's not Zoo deck as it was before. It can grind very well, especially if you add couple of grindy pieces. It can do very great job, has a strong single power of all single cards in the deck. Scion Leyline combo is great. Territorial Kavu is great creature, one of the strongest creatures in format, and the Phlage as well. So adding Stoneforge Mystic in this version lets you find the new powerful equipment, which can definitely win games on its own with Leyline. And Winternight Stories is a very cool piece that just brings amazing level of card advantage. Usually in the best situations this is draw 6, discard Phlage and Ragavan. So that is absolutely like discard Phlage is like drawing a card. So it's just draw 6, and when you have Phlage it's basically no drawbacks. So absolutely amazing card, which has been super easy to flashback, to harmonize. So with Kavu on the field or Scion of Draco, you can harmonize it for 1 mana. If you have Phlage on the field as well, if you have like Wild Necatl or Nishoba Brawler, you can also harmonize for 1 mana, Necatl for 2 mana, but you pay 1 to cast it, so it's again like 3 mana total. So it works really good with Zoo creatures. And okay, so that's it. 2 new cards. Very excited to try both of them. Also in this video, remember I had 1 Cory and I had the Ether Spark, and I ended up replacing Cory with Lion Sash and removing Ether Spark completely from the deck. It didn't feel good. And in the sideboard I have Sword of Light and Shadow. I think this is a good hate piece, good against Ores of Sewers, good against energy, and good against Dimir Frog. Protection from black and white is super relevant at the moment, especially against sewers, but also works against other strong decks in the format. So pretty happy with that. Damping Spheres plus Stubborn Denials against Storm. We got a couple of Doorkeeper Trolls. Even though they work against our Stoneforge Mystic, I think they are just good to have in the sideboard against a lot of matchups. Consigns for Eldrazi, got couple of Pyroclasm, 4 energy, and Wear Tears. Okay, so that's it. Let's go check out the gameplay. So don't forget, in the video you will also see a Cory in action and the Ether Spark in action, so you can see how did those two perform. Okay, so time to start the match and see how it went. Okay, so game 1, I'm starting with perfect hand, like turn 1 Ragavan with Leyline on the field, and turn 2 Scion of Draco, immediately giving my Ragavan hexproof. Opponent, Bosch and Roll, playing artifact deck. And having turn 2 Scion seems like very good against their deck. Let's see what happens. I hit them with Ragavan and decide to immediately just Galvanic Blast them face. They're already on 16, I have 6 damage coming next turn. My opponent goes immediately for quick concede. And okay, so you can see my deck here. I had 1 Cory Steel Cutter, I had 1 Ether Spark, I also had a Simulation Aegis in the sideboard, and the pest control. Later I replaced them with Pyroclasm, removed the Simulation Aegis totally, and moved Lion Sash to the main board. Okay, so that's it. Deck definitely changed after a couple of leagues of testing. This was the initial build, but it didn't really change much, so just a few changes. And I only had one Dragonfire Blade here, okay, so I only had one, and it overperformed, so I wanted to have a second one and removed the Ether Spark. Okay, so that was the end conclusion. Let's go check out the game 2. Game 1 was super fast. This is a one-lander here, so I mulligan to 6 because I had a one-lander and I keep a Leyline combo again. Leyline combo seems pretty solid against their deck, but you can notice here that even if I don't have the Scion, I still have turn 3 Stoneforge Mystic into Dragonfire Blade, and my creature again will have Hexproof from monocolored, so that's kind of a pseudo Scion, I would say. Okay, I can go for a Surveil here. See what's on top. My hand is great. I think keeping Winter is worth it. Shadow Spear is a good card to kill. Okay, so I'm not sure if they play. Probably don't play like Blood Moon, but no point in risking it, and I go for Plains. Play the Scion of Draco. Opponent is in big trouble again, and yeah, of course they play a Saga on their own, and I have a Werther here. They go, boom, kill one of my lands, but it just doesn't matter. I can go kill their Saga or play another Scion. I decide to just go for kill Saga, continue attacking with Scion, and overall just a great situation. Opponent uses their turn to ramp with Cleansing Wildfire. Usually this would be maybe like a problem matchup. And now my Hexproof Scion has Hexproof from monocolored as well. I attack them more, put to 10. Next turn I have lethal with Stoneforge, sorry. I have lethal with attack with Scion of Draco and Stoneforge. Okay, so opponent actually gets rid of Leyline, but at this point it doesn't matter. I play Phlage phase to finish them off, so that was game 1. Let's check out game 2. Sorry, not it. Okay, so this was not it. I think, yeah, this should be it. Okay, so game 2, I keep Dragonfire Blade and Leyline of the Guildpact, so nothing else. Just these two cards, and I was hoping to draw like any creature. If I draw any creature, I have the combo, so that seems pretty good. My opponent actually helped me here with Burning Inquiry, but I draw 3 more lands. That seemed incredibly unlucky. So I had like 4 lands hand, and opponent played Burning Inquiry, and I draw 3 more lands. That was like really terrible. So I go for to crack both of my fetches, Surveil, and put a land in the yard, and now I draw another land. Wow. Yeah, I didn't see this bad luck for a long time. So let's just fast forward this quickly. Opponent, I only draw Leyline Binding, and opponent conceded. Eventually I find Ragavan, but that's not good enough to survive, and opponent finds a way to easily finish this game 1. So let's check out game 2. Okay, so this sideboard was significantly different from now, so we won't really go through that. Here I keep, in game 2, I keep a decent hand. I have a Ragavan, a Scion of Draco, a Phlage, and Leyline Binding, all much better than what I had in game 1. Okay, I start with Steam Vents, so if my Ragavan connects, I can still play Scion of Draco by playing in data Triumph, but opponent goes for Flameblade Adept, so they have a blocker here. I want to take it and just find my Triumph and pass the turn. If needed, I can use Leyline Binding. Okay, so opponent cycles, goes for looting, and puts Vengevine in the yard and plays Hollow One. Luckily, they don't have another. There's no point in sacrificing a treasure there. Okay, so I go for Arena of Glory. And I didn't want, I already have Ragavan on the field, so I go for Arena of Glory, haste my Scion, and Leyline binding their Hollow One. Actually, like finding Goblin Lore from their top was excellent here. It basically allowed me to put Phlage in the yard, fill my yard, and draw another card. So that ended up being pretty good for me. I also have Arena of Glory with me, which is great with Phlage. Let's see what happens. Okay, so my opponent has 4 cards. They have Vengevine in the yard. They go for Fateless Looting, discard a couple of lands. Then Destructive Revelry, kill my Scion of Draco, pass the turn. I have Phlage in the yard. Next turn I also have Arena of Glory active. So Phlage face, but that won't be necessary. I can go Phlage face, attack them for 2, get the treasure and bolt them face and get the game. Okay, so let's see what happened in game 3. I boarded out Cory Steelcutter, boarded out Aetherspark. Okay, I mulliganed the 1-lander only to keep another 1-lander. Was that a... Oh, maybe it wasn't, I'm not sure. Okay, I keep a 1-lander here. I go for... I have a lot of spells I can play here. I go for... but I didn't find another land for a long time. My opponent was in a similar situation, so yeah, didn't work out for them either. So let's check out how the game 3 went, match 3, sorry. So this time I had a Leyline of the Guildpact and Scion combo again. Scion of Draco, Winternight Stories, so we'll finally see how Winternight Stories played out. I'm hoping. Okay, I go for Surveil on turn 1. Territorial Kavu on top, that is a great keep. Opponent puts Island in the graveyard, plays a fetch. I don't know what they're playing. I have a find a basic. I decide to risk it here and go for a Scion of Draco. My opponent has a counterspell and passes the turn, so now they play Snow-Covered Forest as well, and now I'm a bit confused. So let's see what happens here. I decide I have Phlage in hand, and I didn't want to get my Kavu countered as well. So in this situation I decide like I really want to just put Phlage in the yard and pass the turn. Next turn I can play like double Kavu, which plays great against their counterspell. So now I have Phlage in the yard, I draw 3 cards, it is insane, just like doing this feels insane, I don't have to do anything else. But now also I can play my Kavu and just flashback this card for 1 mana, draw 3 more cards. Actually insane, completely insane. Okay, so I decided not to do it, but to play a second Kavu instead. So I decided to pass on drawing 3 cards there, just go with double Kavu for that turn. I'm not sure, like in this situation it seemed like maybe better to go for Winternight Stories there, but Snapcaster, they had Snapcaster into counterspell, so maybe it was just better to go for Kavu, let them counter second Kavu, keep the Winternight Stories in the yard. Okay, I try to kill their Tidebinder because if they survive after trigger, my Kavu dies. So that's unfortunately what happened. My opponent also has a Bolt, but now they have 0 cards in hand. I have another Ragavan and Phlage in the yard, and I can cycle the Triumph. I can also play the Winternight Stories from the graveyard. I can replay the Phlage, then tap a Phlage and replay the Winternight Stories, draw 3 more cards. That's like really good, and my opponent now has only 1 card in hand. So first Winternight Stories, put Phlage into my yard. Then draws me 3 more after I replay the Phlage. Okay, so I go to crack all of my fetches now. We want to use them. Yeah, I think maybe it was better for me to play this untapped to be able to play Winternight Stories immediately, but never mind. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen anyway. If I resolve the Phlage here, I'm in a pretty good position. Even if I don't, there is a good chance I'll be able to play it again soon. Okay, so I go for a Phlage, and opponent Otavaras my Phlage, puts it back into my hand, which I don't actually mind. I don't mind it, and now I also have Scion of Draco from the top and Leyline on the field. My opponent just concedes. I also still have Winternight Stories in hand. I can replay it for just 1 mana and draw 3 more cards. That is disgusting. I'm loving the Winternight Stories. Feels so good with Scion and Kavu. Okay, so here I had a decent hand, but I decided against keeping it. Core Steel Cutter here seems actually pretty good. Okay, so I pass the turn, and Core Steel Cutter feels very solid. I can go turn 3 here, play the cutter, play the bolt. Looks amazing. So let's see what opponent does. Okay, they go for forest. Not sure why forest, but okay. So I can go for Triumph, I can go for basic. In this situation, I decide to go for a basic. I'm not sure why my opponent went for basic forest, so just in case, to protect myself from Blood Moon, I go for a basic here. I have Leyline on the Guildpact on the field. I try to go Stoneforge on turn 2, and I love finding Dragonfire Blade in this situation. A lot of the times I preferred having Core Steel Cutter to Kaldra, so because in this situation they kill my Stoneforge, Kaldra is dead, but I have Core Steel Cutter and it's absolutely not dead. It's a great card for me, so I can go turn 3, play Core Steel Cutter, play Dragonfire Blade, equip the token, attack for 4, protection from monocolored. Then on a turn later I can go like Winternight Stories, bolt, and trigger it again. It's actually amazing, actually truly amazing, and I preferred it to Kaldra, but in the end I decided to keep like Kaldra and go with Kaldra for the video, but I'm still, honestly, I'm still undecided. A lot of times Core Steel Cutter was better than Kaldra, so there's definitely something to think about here. Okay, I went for Core Steel Cutter as I said here, and I went to bolt the Tarmogoyf. If you don't see this too often, but opponent didn't they can only play instants or try to surveil a non-instant in the yard, but they surveilled and didn't find a non-instant, so Goyf actually died from lightning bolt. That's funny. Okay, so I went for it and it worked. Okay, so here I can now double spell again. The Winternight Stories is so good, and I'm also like growing my token, so my monk token can actually help me recast the Winternight Stories. Actually, when I'm watching this, I'm kind of more and more convinced I should play Core Steel Cutter instead of Kaldra. So I don't know. So a few times Kaldra was better, few times Core Steel was better. Maybe I should just play both and cut the Lion Sash. Maybe that is the plan. Okay, so I have Dragonfire Blade also helps me recast the Winternight Stories for 1 mana, pretty good. I can put it on whatever I want, equip is free, and I put it on Stoneforge. I don't want them to play instant speed 3 mana wizard and block my Stoneforge. So now my Stoneforge has protection from monocolored. I'm going in for a lot of damage, and I don't know. This is just brutal. This is just brutal. Winternight Stories. Discarded Phlage again. Discarded Phlage again. And I have 3/4 Stoneforge Mystic. I can make my token 4/4 to cast this Winternight Stories for 1 mana. I also have like a Scion Of Draco plus Territorial Cavu with haste here. Actually disgusting. Actually disgusting. Okay, so I should have went for Scion first, of course. Okay, so I go for Scion. My opponent has subtlety. That's completely fine. I still have Dragonfire Blade. I will keep Scion on top. Probably just immediately draw it with Kavu. Okay, so I go for a Kavu now. Trigger the Cory Steel Cutter again. And I can trigger the prowess with Winternight Stories, but my opponent just concedes, and that's it. That is it. Actually, both of these cards overperformed, and I think after rewatching this league, I will just remove the Lion Sash and maybe consider it for a sideboard and bring in the Cory Steel Cutter. Okay, so the Cory Steel Cutter was pretty decent in this deck, but the Dragonfire Blade felt better. It felt great to just have additional interaction with the Leyline of the Guildpact. It's also with having Dragonfire Blade on the field. It's also more often worth it to just cast the Leyline of the Guildpact for 4 mana. Even if you don't have the Scion, there's now like 6 cards that work great with it, so it will often be more castable. And Cory Steel Cutter also felt decent, but Winternight Stories most of all felt like super broken. In a lot of situations, if I needed, I had opportunity to like draw 6 for a very low mana investment. And not to mention that you can discard this to Kavu ability, and next turn just draw like 3 cards for 1 mana and discard your Phlage, which is basically like a better Ancestral Recall, because you get to discard your Phlage immediately. So it can in the zoo deck paired with Territorial Cavu, you can often like play Territorial Cavu on turn 2, untap on turn 3, attack with Cavu, discard Winternight Stories, play Scion Of Draco, tap Scion Of Draco, and pay 1 mana. Since it's turn 3, pay 1 mana and draw 3 cards and discard your Phlage. I think that is one of the most absurd things you can do, not in Zoo and almost in Modern, in the sense of a mid-range world, trying to win the mid-range game in the mid-range metagame. So that sounds absolutely insane, and I think this is a common play pattern from the zoo decks to resolve that Kavu turn 2. Kavu is kind of hard to kill, not every deck can kill it on turn 2, so there is like a higher chance for it to survive. Then you attack with it, and you discard Winternight Stories. You can maybe add some more creatures with high power, like Nishoba Brawler, and play Nishoba Brawler or Scion on turn 3, and just draw 3 immediately and discard your Phlage. Or if you don't have Phlage, which is ideal, you can discard a second copy of Ragavan, or you can discard a copy of Leyline of the Guildpact you don't intend to play, stuff like that. Okay, so that's it. That's all for today. I truly, really enjoyed this deck. It showed me some you can do some super broken stuff with new cards, but also that new cards are dependent on building of your deck. So you can't just play 4 Ragavan, 4 Phlage, 4 Kavu, 4 Scion Of Draco and just jam like 3 Dragonfire Blades. It won't work, it will be bad. You have to have a high creature count to include it, and in this situation, that's why I also had like a Lion Sash, it's another creature, so 21 creature plus Caldra, and I think that is a lot more than having 16 or 18 creature like in a Doorkeeper trial build. Okay, so I think to make this work, to make this better, you have to have higher creature count, and since we have Stoneforge Mystic finding the new cards, the new equipment, which are both very good, I think it makes more sense to this version performed better for me than the version I tried without Stoneforge Mystic, playing it just like this, like 2 Doorkeeper Trials in the main, 2 Dragonfire Blades in the main, 2 Winternight Stories, and then I just removed this as well and added like couple of consigns to the main board and added what it was, sorry, I think it was, yeah, it was Tribal Flames. So I added Tribal Flames to the board, to the 4 Tribal Mains to the board, and kept it like this, and it performed worse for me. And I think for first, I'm not sure if I want the draw spell in the version with Flames, and because it's taking my slot. It's if I cut the Phlage, I'm making my stories worse. So if I'm adding Flames here in this build, then the Winternight Stories kind of don't have a spot anymore. So you have to cut that, add in like either probably like a couple of Stubborn Denials, and then you can play it like this with the Tribal Flames. Dragonfire Blade will be decent, it will be a good card, but it is just 18 creatures, and I can't really tell how big difference is between 18 creatures and 21. So 20 with Stoneforge and 21 with either Lion Sash or Core Steel Cutter. That is a large difference. 21 creature is much more than 18 creatures. And people won't kill Stoneforge. They won't kill it, but they will kill Doorkeeper Trial. They probably won't kill Stoneforge, so you will have it there lying on the field and have a good target to equip your Dragonfire Blade on. So it's just unfortunately for all the zoo lovers that love the trial list and want to continue keeping trial list, it is possible, but you will have to do some changes. So if you have Tribal Flames here, you will either have to cut your Stubborn Denials, put them to side, add either 2 more trials, or add like 4 Necuttles, or add 2 trials to Emperor of the Bones, whatever, but I think the creature count just has to go up. It has to go up, or it won't be enough for the Dragonfire Blades. I think it's a good piece, it's a strong card for Zoo, but you don't have to play it, of course. If you don't play it, which is maybe better option if you want to keep going with 18 creatures, what you could do is keep playing Winternight Stories instead. Then again, I think this is good option for a grindier meta, so go with Winternight Stories instead of stock up and whatever, like Shadow Prophecies, whatever. Just go split it with 2 Stubborn Denials or 2 Consigns, 2 Winternight Stories, and with add Tribal Flames and keep it like this. That's another potential solution. I think these are the best options if you want to try new cards, and I think the new cards are good, but Dragonfire Blade will work better in the Stoneforge build, and or in the build when you play 4 Necuttles. You just have to have like 20 creatures. And Winternight Stories is not dependent on it, it's easier to bring it in. You can just play your regular Doorkeeper Trial build and have 2 Winternight Stories as like additional piece, draw card engine, which can really work well with the Zoo deck, draw you a lot of cards, get you out of a lot of situations where opponent is drawing cards with Ketramos, stuff like that. But you will have to give up on 2 slots in the main. It can be like some people are cutting 4th Ragavan, some people are cutting 4th Phlage, but I think Winternight Stories is working best in the build with 4 Phlage, 4 Ragavans, because these are the cards you want to discard on its ability. So usually if you're casting this on turn 3, it's already too late for Ragavan. What are you going to do with turn 4 Ragavan? It's not worth it, so it's okay to discard it. I don't mind it. It's great. It's best to discard Phlage. It's ideal to discard Phlage, of course, but it's in a lot of situations it's okay to discard Ragavan as well. So I think it works great in a build with 4 Ragavan, 4 Phlage. That's it. So I showed you my thoughts, my favorite options, what I like to do with these new cards. And these are my two favorite cards in addition to Cory Steelcutter. So Blade, Cory Steelcutter, Winternight Stories, these are my 3 favorite cards for zoo decks from TARKIR Dragon Blade. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching. And friendly reminder to click like, subscribe, comment down in the video. I want to hear your comments on all of this I was talking about at the end of the video. Really interested in what other people think, but my mind is set at the moment. I think it's good to add Winternight Stories. It's better than Stock Up, that's definite. In my opinion, that's definitely better than Stock Up or other options. It's the best card draw engine for zoo deck. So you can just add it in remove spell snares, like either play couple of stubborn denials or consigns in the main and keep the build as it was. That is the first option. It will be hard for me to decide which option is my favorite. I think they are all good. But I think these 2 are the best. Either 2 Winternight Stories in a Doorkeeper Thrall build, or go with the Stoneforges and play the Dragonfire Blades, or not necessarily Stoneforges. It can be like Wildneckuttles or Emperors or Bowmasters, but you have to have 20 creatures, and then add a couple of Dragonfire Blades and hold the counters on the sideboard. So these are the options. I presented you the options that I like. This is my opinion, and that's it for today. Again, thank you for watching and goodbye.